Hi, I'm Becky Johnson with Sweetheart Quilt Design Company. And we've been having fun with these blocks we've been making from layer cakes or cutting your own 10-inch squares. So then I thought, well, what else can we do with this? So I thought, what if we start out with diagonal lines? So I had this layer cake that was green and red, and I found some Christmas fabric where I cut my own 10-inch squares. This particular layer cake, the inside of the pinking is 10 inches, so it looks like it's a little bit big, but I've got it evenly around the edges. And then I'm just going to take my 45-degree line and lay it on the edge there and go from corner to corner and draw my line and do the same thing the other way. And then we're going to start stitching. We're going to stitch on both sides of one line, and then we'll cut on both lines. Okay, and so make sure nothing slipped. And we'll come back the other way. All right. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and cut this. I can put the 1/4-inch line on my ruler. Oh, I was going to say on the stitching, but the way I'm cutting it now, there is no stitching. Okay. And then now I can put it on the stitching or just match it up with where I have the line drawn. All right. So then we're going to iron these. We're going to iron them all toward the dark. Okay, then I'm going to take these pieces and line them up so they're opposite. All right, there we go, that one and this one. So we're going to flip these on top, make sure we nest the center. Whoops, got some little touch up to do. Okay, we're going to nest the center. Match those edges and go ahead and stitch them together. Nest that and then match up the ends here. Okay, then we're going to take this and we're going to spin the seams. So this one goes that way. We're going to have this one go toward the light fabric. And then we'll turn this around and press it toward the light. And then we're going to open this up in the center. So we have a little square. Sometimes you have to get your seam ripper in. But that popped open pretty nicely. Whoops. I flipped one of the pieces so you can't see the square. There. Okay. And we're going to, this one goes this way. And we're going to do the same thing again. Pop that open. Like that. Give it a nice press from the front. Then we'll double check this and make sure. So this goes, all these seams go this way and all those seams go that way. So now I know when I work with it, they'll nest. So I'm going to take my 2 blocks, and this one, the hourglass is white, and this one, it's green. And we're going to cut 2 inches in. So right here, I have a 45-degree line, and it crisscrosses my 2-inch line right there. So I'm going to lay this on the diagonal and put that point right there, right in the center. So there I have on the diagonal and right in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And I'm going to spin it around and do the same thing going the other way. Oops. All right. We'll get this one out of the way and put this one up here to do the exact same thing. All right, now we're going to switch out our centers and we're going to sew this together. So it looks like it matches right here, but once we get the seam in, it'll look like nothing lines up at all. So I've got that centered on there. I guess I should have said once we take out the seam allowance. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. Kind of freaked me out at first, so you guys are getting a heads up. Okay, we're gonna sew this on. one in and one out. So now as I'm ironing them, you can see what I mean, that those seams don't line up at all. So what are we going to do about that? All right, we'll put these going out. All right, so what we're going to do about that is the next step. So once again, we're cutting our 2 inches. I've got my diagonal line going on these lines and my 2-inch right in the center. And you'll notice it comes through the middle of those. Get it? Oh. There we go. All right, put these up here and do the same thing with this. Oops, 2 inches. And then we're going to swap, whoops. He's hanging on for dear life. There we go. We're going to swap out the centers, and now you see what we get. So we do have to be careful when we sew these together that those points match up, which they're set up to do that nicely. You can pin them if you want, just faster than having to rip them out. So if I take a pin and put it right through that crisscross, well, that didn't work. Okay, we'll put it right through the crisscross and come out through the crisscross on the other side. And then I like to just take a pin and put it in diagonally like that. So you can do it that way, or you can take a peek at it as you're coming up on it, which is the method I most normally use. So I'll demonstrate that too. Okay, so we're going to sew this together. Sew through the crisscross. So what I do a lot of times, so that's the safe way to do this. If you want to do it without the pins, you double check your corners, and then you make sure you've got your seam allowances nested. If they're not nested, it won't work at all. And as you look at this, which mine weren't, you can see that how it makes a little hourglass in there. You can see those little triangles right there, the green one and this one. And if they're the same size and you stitch right through there, you're going to be good. If they're not the same size, then you need to do some adjusting one way or the other. If you're too near the, if your point ends too close to the seam allowance, so it's way out here instead of back there where it's supposed to be, you can stitch your seam just a little bit deeper, and that usually takes care of it. think maybe I like the pen method better. All right. Let's get this. All right. Now, how did we do? Oh, that looks good. This one, I need to stitch it just a little bit deeper. So I'll just go, since I'm stitching it a little bit deeper, I don't have to take those stitches out. That looks better. All right. Oh, here's the unpinned one. Looks all right. This one, my problem is I didn't get my seams nested all the way, so I'll go back and fix that later. All right. We'll get this done. Okay. Yeah, I've got a little bit of fixing to do, but I'll fix it later. I don't want you all to have to watch that. Now, you can either press these in or out, or if you want to, you can press them open just to reduce the bulk. I'm just pressing them out right now. And then I've got a couple more blocks that I made. So when you start putting them together, which I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it yet, but you start getting secondary designs with it. So we've got a pinwheel in the corner. We've got diamonds there. We can make a big diamond going around. So there's kind of different things. Or you can add sashing if you want to. Or you can, you know, you can put them together like this, and then your diamond is more, these diamonds show up better. So there's a lot of different things you can do. You can have fun playing with it. So just do that. Have fun playing with it. Thanks a bunch.